This is going to be kind of a sad video, but it's absolutely true. And anybody that's older in age will tell you it's true. So when you're young, say 5 and 7, younger or even a little bit older than that, you get celebrated all your life. I'm talking about every day of the year you're taken care of, uh, just in enormous ways. The food is prepared for you. Some of you already know where I'm going with this, but some of you don't. But the birthday parties, everybody's clapping and chanting your name, rooting you on, a lot of encouragement, a lot of pats in the back. For the most part, a lot of people have this, and some people don't. But when you're a child, you get extra attention from all the adults. Everybody's there for you. Now, you start moving up in age. You start going from 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. All those things are still going on, but by this point, you've already had a couple birthdays. And it's kind of wearing down. It's still exciting for the parents, it's still exciting for the family members, but even the kid is like, all right, let's take a picture and all this kind of stuff. The friends are still coming through and whatnot, but now you're moving to 11, 12, 13. Right around there, you might or might not want a birthday party because you don't like the attention, you don't want to be on the spotlight, and you don't want the whole birthday cake deal. You just, hey, give me presents, but I'm good with the cake. Don't worry about it, this and that. At least I did that. So if you move on more in age, you're a teenager at this point, but going to 20s and even 30s, that's when you start to figure out, specifically in the 30s, but you already kind of have a heads up on the 20s that it's no longer that special. You're celebrating. Don't get me wrong. You're celebrating. You're drinking. You're going to the club. You're going to a party. Everybody, But compared to when you were a child, it's not as big of a deal. And you're getting older. So you're having more experiences. You're having hardships. You're having trouble, problems, boyfriend or girlfriend trouble, and this and that. But by this point, you're already kind of feeling what life is really all about. Responsibilities. You have to get a job. You have to take care of your things that you have. You could possibly have a dog. You have to buy food. You have to pay some bills, But the responsibilities are not to the place of being a full-grown adult at that age, at 20 years old. Because your parents still got your back and they're still paying for stuff. But you move up, you start growing up, and 5, 10 more years add to that. Now all the responsibilities are on you. Now by this point you probably have kids, so now all eyes are on them, not on you anymore. You have taken a back seat to your kids, to responsibility. Okay, this is the way life really works. Then you start to figure out, when you're taking your kids to school, you start to reminisce on when you were going to school at that age, and you start to connect all the dots and all the programs and everything that they filtered you through to try to create you the mentality that you have today. And you're like, whoa, you start to do it for your kid, and you're like, whoa, I remember when they did this, and I remember when I was in their shoes and I was going through all this kind of stuff. And you start to reminisce. And so now the kid is whiny and complaining, I want this, I want that, and around the clock you're serving that kid, your kid, all right, meanwhile holding down a job and still trying to put in a little bit of your me time, whether it be going to the gym or having a hobby or this or that. You're trying to do that, juggle all that together. So the responsibilities are at an all-time high. So, you add more age to that. You put more years on it. Now the kid, it's the same thing as you when you were a kid. Demanding a lot from you, money, all kinds of different resources, just different things pulling on you to do this and that. And then you, by this point, you're 40, going on, a little older than 40, growing gray hairs already. And you notice that your birthdays come and go, and You'll get a call, you'll get a wave, you'll get a smile, happy birthday, but that's about all you get. And then you add more age to that, and then you're lucky if they come and visit you. You're lucky if they do any of those things for you. Some people don't get even a phone call, or they'll get the phone call the next day or the day after and say, "Oh, I forgot it was your birthday. Hey, happy birthday." And then obviously, as you get older, then I'm sorry to have to say this, but it's the truth. Everything I've said is the truth. Uh, some old people, to the younger generation, looks at them and they're like a nuisance to them. So it's like, oh, they're old. Oh, they don't think the way we think. They don't, they're always up so uptight. They're always so this and that. And so it's like the old people that were once young people have this life that nobody really wants to partake with them in their life. It's like they're alone in bed watching a lot of TV, and everybody's going on because they're younger. The younger people are living their life, doing everything that they want to do. The old people that were once young are now old, and they're starting to see, wow, once upon a time, I used to get all the attention in the world, you know, when I was a kid, and how slowly all that is taken from you, and then it's almost like you have to rely on your own self to do everything, even at an old age. Some people are they have somebody to do errands for them and stuff like that, but there's some old people that don't have anybody. You know, and it's that's the way of life. And I think it's unfortunate because since you were a little kid, you get set up. I look at it like it's a setup. Like, you get all this attention and you think that life itself is always going to treat you this way. You think it's a program. It's almost like this is the way you're received into the world. You entered in, and then everybody's smiling, hugging, and kissing you, and you're like, oh, I can get used to this. This is cool. Everybody loves me so much. Everybody's at my beck and call. It's like I'm a superstar. And as you move up in age, all that, one person leaves the group, and then another one, and then another, until everybody has left. And then it's almost like I was set up to believe that this world. And so I just think, write on the comments what you think, but I think that, yeah, you want to give love, you want to give attention, but you don't want to give any false advertisement or any false hope to a child to think that this is what life really is like. I get the whole experience and all make memories and this and that, but like, I'm not teaching my kids about Santa Claus. I'm not teaching my kids about the Tooth Fairy, because I'll be setting them up for a lie. Like, this world is hard. It's hard. Anybody that's a little older understands what I'm talking about. When you're young, you're just thinking about yourself. You're foolish. You can see from here to the fence, and that's it. Like there's nothing beyond that. You're not thinking about strategy, planning, being prudent, saving money, or for an emergency. You don't have any of that going on, because it's just like, oh, if I get in trouble, I'll just call so and so. But when you're older, you gotta take care of everybody. And when you're taking care of everybody, you feel the burden of, okay, I gotta make wise decisions. So if I fall, everybody falls. And so, I don't know, man. I think about stuff like this, and I think about life. I'm a student of life. I look at life and I just study, the different ways that we grow up in society and life, and how we could possibly change that, modify that into a more suitable concept for an upbringing, so that you can be better off. Cartoons, I'll end the video with this: cartoons, television, so many fantasies, so many different concepts on TV, flying, cartoons flying, and everybody always goes to, oh, it's just entertainment, oh, it's just fun, oh, it's just a joke, oh, it's just this, oh, it's just that, and they downplay it, but it has a tremendous impact on the person that thinks that it's real. Oh, Santa Claus. Tell them it's real, until they're 9 years old. Then you'll break it to them, and oh, but Jesus is real. God is real, but Santa Claus is not. Oh, but where's Jesus? I can't see him. Like, no, but he's real. But you already lied to me about Santa Claus. You see how I can steal your faith, and and then it's almost like the same thing with superheroes and this and that. And then how do you decipher for a child what's real versus what's fake when you're showing them television? Television will have some educational shows that you're like, all right, sit down here so you can watch this. 1+1 = 2, and so you're teaching them on the television, and then the next show is about something that is fantasy, and then they're like, okay, I'm learning because I have my thinking cap on. 1+1 = 2, so I could fly too because that person's flying. And we just assume as adults that they know the difference. Like, yeah, no, they know that that's not real, but they know that this is real. And for me, it's like, it frustrates me to the core because we're doing such a poor job at, you know, setting up our children or the youth for success with all this bad television, bad music. Everything pollutes you, it rots you to the core, and then you demand of them to be an upstanding citizen when you're showing them nothing but gunfights and violence, and 99% of it is that. And then it's like, hey, but I want you to follow the rules and the laws and the way. When the movies itself show ideas in you on how to break the law and how to get away with it and this and that. So for me, it's so like twisted and backwards and dumb. But I don't know if anybody shares, but I'm coming from a different place. I actually care.